It's the breakfast on Plus TV Africa. It's time for us to look at the second conversation. And we look at the fact that over 72 million subscribers have been barred from making outgoing calls. And this is the directive from the federal government to telecommunication companies. We find out the implication of that on our economy and the way forward. Telecommunication companies and the federal government are at the risk of losing an estimated 66.74 billion naira to the barring of outgoing calls to 47 million subscribers' identification modular cards that have not been linked to the national identification numbers. The federal government had on Monday ordered telecoms to bar all outgoing calls of the SIM cards not yet linked with the NIN effective April the 4th, 2022. According to the government, over 125 million SIM have and their NIN submitted for immediate linkage verification authentication. We're now being joined by Abdullahi Okonu, General Secretary of the Private Telecoms and Communication Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. It's good to have you join us, Okonu Abdullahi.
Okay, thank you so much for having. The name is actually Okonu, not Okonu.
Okonu.
Thank you.
It's good to have you join us, Okonu. Go ahead with your thoughts now. What do you think about this? Some people think that the federal government has actually breached the fundamental human rights of Nigerians, as much as this is a necessary issue, but the issue of the rights of the people have been breached.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, when a policy like this is rolled out and action is taken, it is natural for people to lay complaint. Some that will support whatever the action is, and then those that will oppose it. And if you could recall, the issue of linkage of SIM to NIN, has been one that has been going on for a while now. If I'm not mistaken, it should be about a year now that this has been out there. You understand? And I can also remember that I came very much on this program also to have that discussion at that point in time. For us then, when they first introduced the linkage and giving a deadline of, I think, the first instance, 2 weeks, we objected it and we said that it was not convenient. It was not, as a matter of fact, possible for them to achieve such. Because in the first instance, people do not even understand the essence of the linkage. Then apart from that also, the bottleneck that is involved in the linking of the NIN to the SIM has not been taken care of. And we are giving them 2 weeks. And good enough, the government listened to wise counsel and they kept, shifting the deadline till this moment that they gave orders to the operators to bar people from making calls. You understand? Yes, to a very large extent, people may want to say that, yes, it is their fundamental human right to communicate that their right has been breached and the likes like that. Yes, it is understandable. But when we look at it from the angle, from the perspective that a lot of positives will come from the linkage of this thing, the NIN to the SIM. But most especially when it comes to the insecurity that is pervasive in our land today, I think all hands should be on deck for us to support the government in this policy. So what I want to say, where I have problem actually as a person, is that some people also claim that they did this registration, yet they were bad. So if anybody is going to be bad at all, it should be those that had neglected the call for them to link up the SIM to the NIN to their SIM. You understand? And it shouldn't be those that, that have complied. So they need to look into this.
All right.
So, For now, that's my take on that.
All right,
Thank you.
Okonu, we'll come back to you. We'll come back and get more reactions concerning this issue of those who have actually linked their SIM to the NIN and are still having issues, making calls in a moment. But our correspondent, Love Ikuku Oyedoku, was at the NIMC Center in Lausa Ikeja, and she compiled this report. Let's take that right now.
The deadline for the NIN-SIM linkage was extended on multiple occasions by the authorities. This was to allow Nigerians freely comply with the policy. Despite many postponements, some people failed to comply.
People have been telling me to go and do it, but I just take it lightly. Maybe it's not something that is meaningful. But now that they've blocked my line, so I have to run down to do it.
These ones here said it was no fault of theirs.
I came to the NIN office. NIN office said I have to pay a sum of 15,000 naira before they can change the date of birth. And the date of birth is like I was born 1989, and then they gave me 1991. So, and it was so painful that I had to save up money to now pay up that amount to come in here to come and rectify this thing. Since November last year, up till now, it has not been corrected.
NIN registration, I had an issue. I need to retrieve my line, and they told me my NIN is BVN generated. I need to come here and modify. And getting here, the crowd is so much. I left what I was doing to be here, and they're telling me I have to start afresh. That's the process I am. It's crazy.
Lost my passport. I went to Abuja. I was captured. Okay, time to produce the passport. Immigration told me they could not produce my passport because my NIN number is showing invalid. So I had to hold on, call some people in NIN-SIM, did this, did that. It didn't work.
Actually, I we filled the form, but there was a processing error. So the number was not coming out. So I was told to come to the head office to get the number.
All hope is not lost for those yet to register. A top official at NIMS who did not want to be quoted said the window of registration was still very much open. He said those whose lines have been barred can register at NIMS office and get it linked with their BVN at their respective banks. The National Identification Number (NIN) is a unique number which identifies you for life and is issued to you by the National Identity Management Commission (NIMS) after your enrollment. It is used to match you with your biometric data and other details in the National Identity Database during verification and authentication. The federal government had directed all test to strictly enforce the policy on all SIMs issued, existing and new in Nigeria, effective from Monday, April 4, 2022. From Lagos, Love Ikuku Oyedoku, PlusTV News.
All right, welcome back. It is still the breakfast. Thank you so much, and Love Ikuku Oyedoku, for that report. We still have Okonu Abdullahi, the General Secretary of PTECSSAN, who is joining us to look at this issue, or all of the issues that have come out from the NIN and SIM linkage. Abdullahi, thanks for staying with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, we just watched the report. A lot of issues that came out of all of that. There were talks of people, the NIMC officials are demanding payment for verification, ratification, and all of that, to issues of the NIN being, connected to the BVN or something. Most of the time, so all of these issues are not on the part of the consumers, but the NIMC, some of their inefficiencies right now. How do you begin to explain all of this? That my line is being bad, and yet I have tried to do the needful, but all of these issues are still there.
Okay, thank you so much. In this part of our world, people always capitalize on every little opportunity that is made available to them to enrich themselves wrongfully and illegally too. You understand? So I think there is more for the government to do in this light. I want to believe that this complaint has been there for so long, As a matter of fact, if I could still remember vividly, the last time I came on your show also, I made mention of that fact as well, that officials of this agency are capitalizing on the deadline and deadline the government is giving to extort people. And they expected that by now, a complaint like this shouldn't be arising at all. That means the government itself is being, to a very large extent, negligent and not looking inward and arresting people, making people to face the music for what they have done. It is very, very wrong. The linkage, in the first place, people are reserved, they have a kind of reservation as to why you are telling them to link up their SIM, their LIN and NIN with their SIM. They are not yet convinced about it. Yet, your staff are extorting them. So all these things are supposed also not to be there at all. So in the light of all these complaints here and there, you have to plead with the government to review this and further, extend the deadline. Those that have been barred now, let them unbar them. Give them, let's say, a maximum of 2 months for them to get linked up their NIN to their SIM. And at the same time, so for the government also to check their workers, because it cannot continue to go on like this. This cannot continue to go on like this. You are making people, you are telling people to do something, and at the same time, your servants that are to carry out the order or the directive, they are capitalizing the opportunity. They are capitalizing the situation on ground to enrich themselves, which is not supposed to be.
No,
so our plea would be for the government to look at this again, unbar those that have been barred, give them, say, a maximum of, 2 months for them to get their, their NIN linked up to SIM. Then at the same time again, when they are unbarred, I want to employ a lot of them, rather than for them to focus on the NIN-SIM, because it's not the NIN-SIM alone that is now involved in the registration of this NIN. So they can go to even the operators, and I can vouch for these operators that none of their workers would dare collect any amount that is not supposed to collect from them, because such person will know the punitive measures that will be taken upon him or her. So they will never think of doing such. So I will implore our people also. NIN-SIM is not the only agency or the only organization that is involved in the registration of this NIN now. So they can go to all these operators and some other organizations also that their lists were given out a while back.
So, but how do you explain, because, with the collection of people, the fact that people are being asked to pay money before they are able to register or verify their NIN, that's the NIN. Now, you also want to agree that the NIMC has approved licensed service providers. So you have a list of persons. It has become a business who have to acquire. I'm sure that they probably would have paid some money, because there's no reason why you have, apart from the fact that you have government, you have said that you have government agencies, government workers or those who have been hired by government to undertake this entire process. But on the other hand, you have the fact that it's been licensed. And so you have organizations that have been listed. And what did they do to get to that point? I'm sure they would have paid some money. So it has to be business now.
Anyway, I've not at this point in time received any information as regards people being asked to pay money for them to get registered from these operators.
People are being asked to pay money.
If that is the case,
yes,
then there is need for us to complain, for people to complain, because a lot of things may actually be going on that are wrong, but the government may not be aware of them. So in the situation whereby the government does not say that they should collect money and they are collecting money, we should raise our voice, we should talk against it, and we should let those in the authority to be aware of such. A policy like this, for it to be successful, you want a lot of people to be involved to do it willingly, then you need to remove the payment of money from it. Because a lot of people are so much impoverished presently as we speak now. A lot of sufferings in the land. And you're asking people to still go ahead to pay for them to link up their SIM, their link to the SIM. It is very, very wrong.
So you
very wrong. It's
yeah.
we need to talk against, and the government must do the needful.
So you have a list. You have a list of organizations and agencies approved and licensed for helping provide the NIN-SIM services to the general public. Helping. So we really do not understand. I mean, when you say help, help is help, but how helpful have there been, and at what point is help being defined as help? So like you have mentioned, it's important that the government needs to be very transparent with this, because one would expect that the process should be, number one, a continuous process, just like you have with the INEC, registration and process, which is, I mean, no one asks you to pay money for you to register, get your voter's card and what have you. One is expecting that this should be a replica of it, and there should be constant sensitization and awareness. But a quick one before we let you go. The essence of having this, NIN being linked, the NIN being linked to the SIM cards, do you think it has lived its purpose? We're talking about security purpose here.
Sorry, I didn't get that, please.
So the essence of the linkage, you having your NIN and linking it with your SIM card. Do you think that it has lived the purpose that the government brought this for? The issue of securing lives and properties?
Yeah, to a very large extent, it will play a vital role, as a matter of fact.
But has it played a vital role, is the question?
Well, for me, it may be very difficult for me to sit down here and say yes or no if it has played a vital role or not. It is the government itself, those in government, that will be able to answer perfectly, to say that, okay, the essence of rolling out this policy is to achieve so, and so. They are the ones that are in the best position to assess themselves, to say, okay, yes, we have been able to achieve what the set out goals. You understand? So I think those in government are in the best position to really answer that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Indeed, we have been speaking with Okonu Abdullahi. He is the General Secretary of PTECSSAN, and he has shared his thoughts concerning the NIN or NIN-SIM linkage today. Thank you so much, Abdullahi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yet again, I'm going to say, reach out to all Nigerians. If you have not linked your NIN to your SIM cards, please do so, because at the end of the day, it will better the lot of all Nigerians. It is still arguable if the essence of the linkage has been achieved, but then only time will tell. But let's just do the needful. Let's just follow the federal government's directive. But that's the size of the show for today. My name is Justin Akadonye.
If you missed out on any part of the conversation, it's all right to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and to subscribe to YouTube channels at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. Many thanks for watching. I am Messibo. We'll have a fantastic day.